Hello, my name is Suse Chmell and I would like to share with you the story of God's faithfulness, how He provided for us this beautiful building in Bad Blankenburg. It was built in 1925 by my great-granddad and four other brothers in the Lord. They put their money together and said this building is supposed to belong to God. And over the years, they printed hundreds, thousands of Bibles and sent them to all the world and different Christian books, Christian literature. And in the last year, in 2013, the printing press moved out of this building. And so as a family, we were challenged to think about what is going to happen with this building now. And when I was at the farewell party of this printing press, I listened to the history and I learned many things I didn't know before. And in the minute when I heard the story, I thought to myself, this story of blessing needs to continue. And when I thought this thought, I heard God's voice asking me, Suse, where do you stand? And I was thinking, where do I stand? I leaned towards the wall, and then I remembered about 10 years ago, I was at the very spot and put my hand on the building. At this time, we were looking for a house for our young people, for our youth group, because we were getting so many young people that we were looking for a bigger house. And back then, I felt it would be so nice if young people would be trained and to know God better in this house. But at that time, I didn't know what to do, so I just said, Lord, if this is supposed to be a dream you have, or if this is supposed to happen, make it happen. And then God said to me, I don't forget any of your prayers, and I take every prayer serious. So I knew God was up to something bigger. And but first, after this farewell party, I went to Russia. We were starting a DTS there. And after I returned from this DTS, on the very day, all my relatives came, gathered in the home of my parents. And it was the day when the printing press actually handed over the keys to my family. And then we were sitting together having coffee, drinking coffee, and my auntie said it would be so nice if something good would come out of this printing press, or something good would happen to it. And so she challenged me to think about it. And still I didn't know what God was up to, but I felt there's a bigger story behind that. So after that, we went on outreach to Burkina Faso. And there I had to lay in bed for a couple of days because I was sick. And then I was thinking about this building, and I was thinking about people I could offer this building to. And in the middle of this thought or process, God is asking me, what about you? Why do you want to offer it to someone else? So I was a little bit scared, and I thought, I can't do that. And God reminded me of many times when I thought I can't do something, and how He always sent people to help me out, and how it always worked out in the end. So I really felt challenged by Him to do it again. Only a project that is much bigger than anything I've ever done before. So I wanted to make sure that it wasn't me. And I took really a few days to think about it, to pray about it. And before I sent the email off to my family that we are interested in this building, I asked God once again, was this you or was this me? And I don't want to do anything what you don't bless. And I really felt God saying to me, do you want to do it? I will bless you. And then I sent it off, and in the minute I sent it off, I felt very clearly God's voice saying to me, I'm so proud of you. From now on, you will never be alone. This was the hardest step you had to do by yourself, all by yourself. This decision I couldn't do for you, but from now on I will always help you. And then we had a few weeks to collect 200,000 euros to pay for this building. And it was such a challenge to come up with it. But I knew if it was God, if it was His project, He would help us to make it happen. So we did the little things we could do. We sent out a newsletter, we did a website, but we knew that God had to come up with something we couldn't come up with. And He did. In a miraculously way, all of a sudden people were touched by Him. And one guy came up and he gave us 50,000 euros. And another guy came up and gave us 40,000 just before the time when we had to have the money. And it is a story I will never forget in my life, and we all will never forget. Until the very last minute, we were still lacking 50,000 euros. And then I was visiting some friends, had no idea that they even owned so much money. And I was just about to leave and take my jacket. And they said, sit down again. And they said, you know, the projects you do, I think we should support them. We will give you the 50,000 what you need. So I was blown away, and yet I knew if we walk with God, these things will follow us. They will happen if we dare and step out in faith. So let this be an encouragement for you that God is a faithful God who hears your prayers. And we invite you to come to Bad Blankenburg and to check out our base and pray about it, whether God wants you in Germany. Work with us to reach the nations and to continue the great story what He started many years ago.